Thanks for staying with us. Now, the goal of most entrepreneurial network is to bring together a broad selection of professionals and resources that complement each other's endeavors. Initially, the priority is to aid successful business launches, subsequently to provide motivation, direction, and increase access to opportunities and other skill sets. Now, promotion of each members' talent and services, both within network and out in the broader market, increases opportunity for all participants. Now, one of the key needs of any startup is capital, and often entrepreneurial networks focus on providing such financial resources, particularly tailored to their membership demographic. Entrepreneurial networks may also become community involved in endorsing reforms, legislations, or other municipal drives that accommodate their organizational goal. Now, in Nigeria, there are diverse business communities, or you might call them networks, that are geared towards building and sustaining businesses. And tonight, we want to help SMEs or businesses out there by sharing important networks to look out for. Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. I'm going to bring in our guest in a minute, but I wanted to just ask you, are you aware of any of these business communities? And you, in your business, have you been able to, like, maybe had any form of interaction with such communities?
Yeah, I am aware of some that exist. I've actually been part of a meeting of a network that was making grants and funding available to businesses. I think I did one of such meetings once, but have I benefited from that group? No, I haven't. And why? I guess I haven't tried enough, sincerely. Also, there's always a bit of we find that a group always have their own. There's a bit of cabal in most network, and there's a connection, there's a linkage that it connects with. So you also have to look at what type of business are you doing and what platform can you leverage and what opportunity exists. Also, I think there's not enough awareness of such network, at least to the best of my own knowledge. That is why this kind of conversation is very critical. So people can get to know about such network and how they can connect and get help.
I'm telling you, so we have the perfect guests, both of them. They are network junkies, if you can call them. So Uchenna Ibe is the founder and CEO of IvyleagueCollections Ltd, an interior design and soft furnishing manufacturing company based in Lagos, a specialized brand in design, production, and sales of ready-to-use home furnishing in over 20 retail stores nationwide in categories such as bed linings, towels, and related items. That's her work. So Ejiro Jakba is the CEO of Knickknacks, a healthy snack manufacturing company with a vision to have a range of affordable and accessible healthy food and snacks produced with 100% natural and locally sourced ingredients. Knickknacks promotes social enterprise by empowering families and communities through local sourcing relationships. Both Ejiro and Uche belong to various, I said they are community network has various communities, and we're super, super happy to be having this conversation with them. Uche has joined us via Zoom. Ejiro is live with us in studio. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us.
Awesome. Great to be here.
All right, so who am I starting with? Let me start with Uche. Uche, I mean, you are a veteran in this business, as far as I'm concerned, because you have been in this business for the longest of time, and you have, I mean, over the years, very steadily dedicated yourself towards, personal development, business development, and this journey has pushed you into, meeting different kinds of people, getting involved in different kinds of communities. Maybe you just walk us through that journey. How has this been so far for you?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Honestly, the entrepreneurial journey, it's not a one-man show. It's not a one-man show. You can't know it all, and you can't do it all by yourself. I believe in strength in numbers. So as an entrepreneur and in the kind of business I do, networking is very important. And then learning, being on top of your game, connecting with others, acquiring new skills is very important. So organizations like WinBiz, the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, then African Women Entrepreneurship Cooperative, the African Women Power Vendor Program that connects women with superstores, because there's this gender parity issue where a lot of women don't come forward, or some of them feel they can't go big, they can't scale their businesses. So when they go to some of these groups or communities that their main purpose is to train, mentor, provide resources, assist and support women, then you notice that your business is no longer a hobby. I mean, what you were doing is a hobby, because most times it wouldn't have structure, it wouldn't have any form. It's mostly a one-man business, and the women think they're doing business. There's no structure in place. But when you go to these organizations who really and seriously want to help women grow, you see that they just provide everything. And sometimes what you're looking for is right there, Like, for example, one of these organizations called Impact Her is a New York-based NGO, and I happen to be their Nigerian ambassador for Impact Her. They have trained over 22,000 women. Over 22,000 women. If you go to their social media pages, you see about 11 women last week got grants. These are women that needed money for startup. They got grants. A lot of women got free websites. They offer training, mentorship. Same with the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs being organized by the U.S. Consulate. So there are organizations out there who actually help women to structure and to put their businesses in a position where investors can even come in. Because really, Nigerian women are very, 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 they're full of ideas. They're very innovative, but some of them just need to move that passion and that idea from being a hobby, to really be a functional business. So I would say I'm a beneficiary of so many of this training, and it has helped my business to grow. And there's still, there's something else. Some others come to you and say, I have a business degree. I'm trained in one of the best schools abroad. It doesn't prepare you for doing business in Nigeria.
Wow.
It just doesn't. It doesn't. I have an MBA in entrepreneurship from Walden University in the US. And honestly, it doesn't prepare me for doing business in Nigeria. Doing business in Nigeria is
totally
different conversation. It's entirely different. It's entirely different.
Absolutely.
So if you don't connect with the local network, there's so many things women share in these groups. I'll give you an example. Impact Her has a Telegram group with over 7,000 women. Okay, if they called you, let's say you're into baking or something. Can you bake for 7,000 women? Can you bake for 7,000 women? So sometimes what we're looking for is just to be in the right place at the right time. And I think it's moving forward, and it's getting better.
Absolutely.
Compared to 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
It's actually getting better.
Okay, so let me come to you, Ejiro. I saw you nodding your head and smiling when she was talking. Because you are also one person that I have admired for the longest of time, because I see how much growth that has happened in your business and how you are taking it one step at a time. So maybe you walk us through business communities. How have you leveraged them for where you are today in business? I mean, you just spoke to me while we're having our makeup done about, a call that came, you were not even there, and they recommended your business, to get grants. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. First of all. And then why I was really, really nodding is because of what Uche said, that you may have the best degree from Harvard, INSEAD, Wharton. I even went to one of the top schools for management and business, Cranfield University, but nothing prepares you for Nigerian business. I've even had several courses at the EDC, Lagos Business School, but nothing prepares you for the practicality of doing business in Nigeria, nothing. And for me, what I found helped was these business communities. There's this proverb that says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go with people. Initially, when I first started this business, I thought I wanted to go fast. Within 6 months, thankfully, not 5 years later or 6 years later, within 6 months, I was like, nah, you don't do this alone. you want to go far, so you need people. So I then started, then WhatsApp, about 10 years ago, we weren't really big on WhatsApp. I think it was BlackBerry we were using then. I can't remember what it's called now. But anyway, I started speaking to people, and they're like, oh, you know what? I've got a small community of women. There are 5 of us. We're into healthy foods. There's one I'm in, it's called Eco Wellness Group. And I would say that's what launched or cemented my journey in entrepreneurship as a foodpreneur and as an agripreneur. Because
so many preneurs.
Yeah, there's a lot of preneurs.
I'm a fashionpreneur.
in fact, I call myself the granolapreneur, the granola billionaire.
Yeah.
You know, so
my.
what it did for me, what that did, being in those groups, what it does for each of us is, when somebody gets info on something, rather than calling 20 people in your network and say, just put it in the group. My very first pitch I won, that was the Mentor Matchup Challenge like 4 or 5 years ago. I went there to support somebody. They posted it in a group. 2 of my friends were pitching. I went there to support. And then on getting there, for some reason, they decided to do it a different way. Me that was in the audience, I was called on to come and give a pitch.
Wow.
I pitched, guess what? I won. So my friends that I came to support ended up being my cheerleaders. But why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if I wasn't in such groups like that, I wouldn't have access. See what you just mentioned about I was on my own and then someone calls me. So there was someone who was, sitting on a fund, and she wanted to give it out to genuine business people, business owners. And it was a gender fund for women. And she put it in a group. 3 people came to meet her personally and said, oh, I know this young lady. She's an entrepreneur. She's doing great things, but she needs support. Her name is Adriel. This is what she does. By the time the 3rd person contacted her, she called me the following week and was like, hi.
Became highly recommended.
Exactly.
That literally, that's somebody speaking for you, like your
exactly.
character.
Exactly. And she's like, who are you? What do you do? Tell me about it. Anyway, 5 months down the line, we got that funding, thankfully. And then I told you again, in the glam room, that how I was speaking to another organizer on being a mentee, on being awarded or being assigned a mentor. And they told me, well, sorry, it's too late. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll still take part in the program. And 2 days later, I got a call and an email from an American company on me being a mentor to other, other business startups that are based in Nigeria. So, and all this came up from a group. How did he know about me? He knew about me from a group. So it's really, really important for SMEs out there not to be an island by themselves. You will not get far in this. You need to
Very
partner.
Good information.
You need to.
Because I've been bootstrapping the entire time.
I bootstrapped for 6
years.
months, and I was like, no, I can't do this by myself.
Definitely. It's been tough, though, but I guess I've been one of the lucky ones who gets to replow and reinvest the capital, but it's been tough, trust me.
But there's more you could be doing.
I reckon if I've been able to bootstrap for this long,
and
I've been able to sustain the brand, imagine leveraging other people's networks and accessing
and
finance.
then, like Uche mentioned, the trainings, there are loads of people with fantastic business ideas. But if I told you I had 10 million naira to invest in your business, can you give me enough confidence to invest in your business?
Absolutely, I can.
You can.
No, you are different. When they are talking, you should not be talking because
why not?
No, because you might not be in those communities, but I think you have also done the work of research and all of that. And this is where a lot of us make the mistake, or a lot of startup businesses, they do not have the structure. Because I remember when we were put in a community and we had the training for 7 days, it was eye-opening for a lot of people that had been in business for years. They didn't have proper documentation. You know what? But we're going to go on a very short break. When we come back from that break, we want to take some of your messages. Then I would like to come to Uche because I heard her jiggling. Let me hear why she was giggling. Stay with us. We'll be right back. my God. So if you just tuned in, we're having an amazing chat with Uche and Adriel on the impact of business communities on SMEs rather. So please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-8466. All right, so Uche, I heard you giggling at the background, you know. So tell us, because again, I know that yes, it is okay for you to go into the some of these communities, but how should you go? What kind of mindset, first of all, is needed for you to go into these communities? And you know, I believe that before you even go into these communities, there are some things you need to know as an entrepreneur. So when you get into those communities, you are very clear as to why your mission is there. Right? So maybe you should walk us through some of those things, and so we can help more people, build their businesses.
Prerequisite requirement for joining.
In the first instance, there is a general community, which, you know, most businesses just have a certain model. For every business, there's a certain model, you know. You have your structure in place in general. Then there are also some smaller communities that you may need to go into that are tailored towards your own sector. Like, let me say the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs by the U.S. Consulate. Yes, this is a general training for women in business. But within that cohort, people are beginning to align themselves. You know, the people in agri, the people in fashion, the people in textile, and all of that. So for those who are just about starting businesses, it's good to have your ears on ground, ask questions, and that's where mentorship comes in. That's where even informal mentoring from churches, from schools, old schoolmates, you know, the point here is that people shouldn't just do stuff alone. A lot of women shy away, and some experience low self-esteem. Some are very educated, you know, and sometimes life happens. Some get married and they just let their dreams die. So from the get-go, women shouldn't just let their dreams die. You know, they take on this traditional role and they're overwhelmed with so many things, childbearing, school run, and all of that. A few years ago, I attended a WIMBIS program, and there was a crash. Organizations are beginning to understand that women have to be the best versions of themselves, that women have a right to attain whatever level in life they can, you know, be the best they can be. So they're beginning to make provisions for women to be able to do all these things, you know. So starting into these communities, when one goes in or gets a referral, you can just go there and be quiet. You know, some are okay. Before COVID, you know, there were mostly in-person training, some for 12 months, some for 3 months, and all of that. Some are online. Most are online now. But if you go in there, you see what is going on. I think the first thing anybody should have in mind is to be humble. You go in there, just keep quiet, and see how things run. If it aligns with your mission and your purpose, then you stay and begin to connect and network. And then you see, in reality, this helps cut cost of running businesses. Can you imagine, like a friend in the studio who is into fashion, and she needs to buy tailoring materials, or she needs to buy some certain fabric. Do you know that sometimes 10 women come together in the community? Everybody is using this particular fabric, maybe a lining, and they do bulk purchases. And then when they do that, it's cheaper, you know. So there's a lot of alignments that one will identify, you know. But if you go in there with an attitude like, I know it all, I've been there, I have that degree, you won't get far. You won't get far. So the first thing is just to start like you know nothing, be an open canvas. You know, you just have to be an open canvas and begin to unlearn and relearn, you know, as they say. So that's the very first thing to do, actually, you know, to making a headway in these communities.
Absolutely. Adriel, I'd like to ask, I'm not the one asking all the questions. I just realized I'm just being the one talking. Milola is here just glowing. I was going to
I am here to learn.
You're here to learn.
I am here to unlearn and relearn. I am here to network.
No, you made my question to fly out of my
Sorry,
head.
my
Come back.
But now it makes sense that such platform exists, and I understand that referral is key. Before you can get to be part of any network, you have to be able to have somebody introduce you for somebody. Just like some people were your character witness, to be able to vouch for you. I mean, that process in itself go a long way to talk about the strength of your character and your tenacity in building business. Because people are watching you. That is one thing I've come to understand in the social media space. No matter what you think you're doing, others are watching. There are a lot of silent ghost observers that they will not participate, they will not like, they will not comment, but they are ardent followers of your brand. And so I understand that you always have people watching. Now, to be part of the association, you would definitely, such platform exists, but you cannot just walk into any. You have to have somebody chaperone you to be able to be part of that network and make a soft landing easy for you to be part of that. How do you find such platforms and such referrals?
Okay, so majority of the time you do need to be referred, but sometimes you can just put yourself out there and someone, just from conversation, you know, pre-COVID, in fact, that was even the best time because there were so many networking events. All you needed to do was attend, yes. And then, oh, hi, my name is Ejiro, I do this, what do you do? And like Uche mentioned, you know, like, yes, we are in a general business group, but there are other subgroups. So those in business, those in hair, those in media, those in, you know, whatever it is, in clothing, in fashion, they then start to align or find themselves, like or find like. And from there, you start talking, you talk about your challenges, and like, you know what? I'm in a group of network of women that do healthy food stuff. How about I speak to the admin and then we'll add you on there? And this question you've asked me that I can't answer you,
some might be able
somebody
to
might be able to.
Some of us are very reclusive, a bit withdrawn. Even though we look very extroverted, we're actually introverted in nature. I think I have a challenge networking. So if you put me in a group, for example, I'm the silent one. I do not do well in a group. I know that I need to unlearn that habit of being withdrawn. That's how come I've been bootstrapping and struggling my entire life. I mean, what harm will it do me if I can just put myself out there? I know what I do, and I know I'm quite good with what I do. But then because of my nature of being very withdrawn, if I go to groups like that, trust me, I'm the one that's sitting, I'm just looking at everybody. And I can come across like, what's she for me like? Or what's she feeling like? But trust me, I struggle to network. I do not put myself out there easily. I take my time, and even if I finally find myself in a group, I'm still the one that is just looking at everybody.
You know, how does she go about that?
How do I overcome?
I used to be like that.
That's nature, really, and still be able to maximize the opportunities that exist on these platforms. Because trust me, I could use some help.
So I used to be like you.
Okay, tell me what you did.
Ago, I visualized my vision. I visualized my goal, my end point. And like they say a lot in church and everywhere else, a closed mouth is a closed destiny.
Absolutely.
Nobody will know the pain you're going through unless you voice out. So I was like, okay, what's the worst they would tell me? No. And I remember then when I started, people asked me, how did you get into this store? How did you get into Ibano? How did you get here? How did you get there? And even without then, we didn't even have a NAFTAC number. And they're like, how? And I said, I thought to myself, well, I wouldn't get into stores if I don't tell people about it, number one. Number two, what's the worst thing they will say? There are two options, yes or no. So if I go to 10 places and 7 tell me no, guess what? 3 have told me yes.
It's not even for the fear of being rejected. I do not think that I have fear of being rejected or fear of being let down. I just have a nature to be a loner. You know, I guess I need to do a lot of working on myself to be able to say, okay, so, make some conscious efforts to overcome those challenges.
Like 2 days ago, in one of the classes I was in, the AWE, the AWE, the African Women Entrepreneurs Program, and the convener of it was talking about how she's an introvert, and everyone was looking at her like, how? The truth of the matter is, a lot of us are introverts. But when it comes to business, and you know you're trying to sell a vision, trying to sell something, you forget about that.
You just put yourself out there.
And you put yourself out there. So
So
For me,
the
I
business
think
comes
it's
the business comes before your
Desire to
personality.
succeed
Exactly.
Yeah, the desire to supersede.
to supersede.
the worries around, oh, I don't want to
then,
make myself.
and then it's all about, as long as you're confident. You said something just now. You know you're good at what you've done. That's why you bootstrapped for how many years? For 5 years. So when you're speaking, you're speaking from a place of confidence and authority, and you should always have that at the back of your mind that, but babe, this skin that I'm blowing, this outfit that I'm wearing, it's you, and people have acknowledged that you know what you're doing. So that should spur you on to even talk more about it.
I guess I'll get better.
Let me come to Uche for a minute. So maybe you should give us like a list of, because both of you are veterans in this community. So if a young person is watching now and the person is thinking, okay, what kind of communities should I be looking out to join in and all of that, you know? So can you give us a list of some of the good communities that you have benefited from that will make sense to businesses?
Okay, for the younger generation, I think for people in their 20s and 30s, AGS Tribe will be excellent because then they're still going to learn a lot, and they have ongoing seminars and webinars they can join. They join the AGS Tribe and they can really start growing from there. For people who are a bit undecided but very productive in what they're doing, and need a pool of mentors, I think especially the younger generation, Wimbiz is excellent. Wimbiz is excellent, for them to join and see how it's done. You know how when you listen to your parents and then you save yourself some pains and growing pains and stuff. So I'll say Wimbiz is like the master of it all. Wimbiz will be great, for young entrepreneurs who really need to see so many examples and, have access to mentors who are always willing. Impact Her is another one that is excellent because Impact Her runs constantly. They have a partnership with Google and they run a lot of trainings twice a week for free. Can you believe it? People pay so much money for these webinars and training, but Impact Her gives it for free. They've trained over 22,000 women in Nigeria, and they're still at it. And they're constantly giving grants and giving websites, helping you. It's like, this is my problem, they're solving it. This is my problem, they're solving it. That is how effective they are. And then for people who are introverted, like she's saying, she's introverted, AWP Network, African Women Power Vendor Network, is excellent. It's another NGO that is just excellent because, so it's like somebody, when you have an old elder brother or sister who goes to fight for you. So most of these stores, some people don't know. For people who want to do retail business, some people don't know how to get into those stores, approach them, and they want to scale. They have a good product. So by the time you do your applications, as I'm saying, it's not easy because apart from Wimbiz and Impact Her, most of these other NGOs that help women in business, they call for applications. Sometimes you have over 20,000, 100,000, 80,000 applications, and for a cohort, they're selecting just 250.
Wow.
So that will boost your confidence. When you're selected, like Ejiro is doing AWE right now, I'm doing AWE as well. And they told us that it was about 15,000 women that were selected. 200 of us were selected. 50 was more on pro bono. People, they just wanted to, some other women that are in disenfranchised areas and things like that, women in displaced areas that are doing stuff, they wanted them on the course as well. So you say out of 15,000 applications, just about 200 of us were selected nationwide. So you have to know your onions as well. So there's nothing wrong with looking inwards to most of these organizations. Another one that is a Pan-African is AWEC. It's another big one. And then you also have to put in your application. And for each cohort, I think AWEC is 4 years now. across Africa. For each cohort, they could have almost 80,000 or 50 to 80,000 applications, and they select just 250. So I think for boosting even somebody's self-esteem, the fact that you're selected already brings you out of that place you're hiding. So I'm this good. And another good thing is that the women in there, whatever the issues are, the programs are tailored with women in mind. They know what the challenges are.
So I was going to ask Ejiro and Uche, so are these all these organizations, or there are some for men? Because it seems like it's only women that get to benefit from this. Or is it because globally there are funds available towards boosting women in businesses? What do you think, Ejiro?
Sorry, where's the guy here again?
We are women.
Where is it? The future is female.
Oh, okay.
You're going to make the men hungry.
The future is female.
Yes,
right now,
we have to
the world has so much funding for us. I mean, we've been suppressed for how many decades? It's our time to shine, you know? And the truth of the matter is,
the cameraman doesn't agree with you.
The truth of the matter is, women drive economies.
Absolutely.
I mean, a woman, a wife, a mother is in a home, you know, there's not enough money, and she's like, man, my children are hungry. They need to go to school. Okay, you know what? Let me make small moi moi. Let me start selling moi moi on the side. I'm sure a lot of us know the story of that moi moi woman. I can't remember the name of the business now. But, I mean, she got to go to the White House. Her moi moi took her there. So the future is female, you know, and
she's a passionate woman supporting the female folk. But I think it's important to have a bit of a number of the organizations they've mentioned clearly support women in business, which is good.
All about women.
But it's also important that we find a balance and find.
No, we are not even. Don't worry, we're not even talking about men. I was just asking that there are opportunities for guys as well. But the question I wanted to ask that I lost my train of thoughts then was, you know, how easy are these, how believable are some of these platforms? Because some will argue that some, I don't want to call specific names, but there are some of the ones that Uche has mentioned. Some would argue that it's a fraud. It seems like you have to know someone, you have to be who is who. There's a caucus of a caucus, and that's what scares a lot of young people from leveraging these opportunities for growth. So do you want to just quickly talk on that?
I wouldn't say I still am of that school of thoughts. There are some of them that I think they're quite pretentious. But for me, what I've learned to do is just go out. Google is free for everyone. The internet is free for everyone. Just find out what program or what thing is going on. I mean, hashtags are there for a reason. And then look at track record. So someone listening to me right now, watching me, is like, how is this Ejiro person? Maybe they put me in Google or something. Like, oh, okay, she's taking part in this, taking part in this, taking part in this. Okay, who are these AWEC people? Who are we? Who are AWP? Who are the Sherry Blair Foundation? Who is the Road to Growth? Who is Mentor Matchup? Who is the Access Bank Womenpreneur Pitch? Oh, I did that. Out of 40,000 women, I was top 5, you know? So
you have a thing for this.
I do. They are professional networkers.
You have to take me as one of your mentees. I'm humble.
No wahala. So people will then start to research this and they see track record. For me, I look at track record. That's how I've been able to select the serious communities. There are loads of communities out there, but look at track record, not only of the convener, but the people that are also taking members. Like now, it's so, I don't know if Osa was aware before she called us, but Uche and I have been in like 2 or 3 programs. She's done we both did Sherry Blair. We met at another one, and we both on all the AWE. The AWE. There's another one that we both done. I'm like, oh, you've done this, you've done that, and that's because there's track record. You know, so I would say look at the recipients.
I think I would just tell any young business out there, look out for Uche Ibe. Just check for Ivy League Collection on Instagram. Be monitoring her. Anything she posts, just say, you know what, that's the community. And look for Ejiro Japa. Both of them, they are, you know, I had to bring the best.
Yes. Thank you.
I had to bring the best because I see, I mean, I appreciate your work because I see the dedication. Because some of these things that we're talking about, these communities are not easy, not only even the selection process. When you are now eventually selected, the process you go through, the rudiment they put you through, because it's not just your, they have to scrutinize your business, they have to squeeze it and make sure that the business is ready for scaling. So it takes a lot. Even you as an entrepreneur, you might not be open.
I guess it's that discipline that a lot of people are not willing to subject themselves to, that they naturally select themselves before the process of selection.
And I was going to mention that it's good to join these communities, but some basic things should be in place. At least have a CAC registration at least before you then think of applying for a lot of these programs, because some people would not even, I mean, they would just disqualify you automatically. So at least do the basic research. Ensure that you're registered in the country that you're in, and then take it from there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, Uche, if you had one thing to say in like a second, what would you say to any young business out there?
I said, don't go alone. Don't go it alone. Look for sisters. And, you know, the narrative has changed. Before they would say women bitch at each other and all of that. That's not true anymore. Women are here supporting each other, helping each other up. And there's always growth in collaboration.
Absolutely. I am a product of collaboration. Ways was birthed from collaboration, and we're still growing and growing very strong with collaboration. Awesome. And again, both of us, three of us attended the cohort.
Exactly. That is so true.
So we are happy to support anyone that is out there. I did this this topic specifically for any young business out there because these are trying times. So you need all the information that you can gather to take your business to the next level. Thank you, Milola. Thank you, Uche. Thank you, Ejiro. We had a fantastic conversation. All right, so before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram. It's at WayShowAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, we're planning a giveaway to say thank you to you for believing in the Ways brand. If you did not know, this was a giveaway. So go and watch it over and over again and find ways to grow your business. All right, so like, share, invite your family and friends to watch. It's at WayShowAfrica. Follow us now. Now, if you missed the quote for today, here it is again. There is immense power when a group of people with similar interests get together to work towards the same goal. So if you're looking towards business growth and success, you need to look for those like minds and join forces together to grow your business. We'll see you next week as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.